The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, O Lord.
As Jesus passed by, he saw a man blind from birth. He spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, and smeared the clay on his eyes, and said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So he went and washed, and came back able to see. His neighbors and those who had seen him earlier as a beggar said, "Isn't this the one who used to sit and beg?" Some said, "It is." But others said, "No, he just looks like him." He said, "I am." They brought the one who was once blind to the Pharisees. Now Jesus had made clay and opened his eyes on the Sabbath. So then the Pharisees also asked him how he was able to see. He said to them, "He put clay on my eyes, and I washed, and now I can see." So some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath." But others said, "How can a sinful man do such signs?" And there was division among them. So they said to the blind man again, "What do you have to say about him, since he opened your eyes?" He said, "He is a prophet." They answered and said to him, "You were born totally in sin, and you are trying to teach us?" Then they threw him out. When Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, he found him and said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered and said, "Who is he, sir, that I might believe in him?" Jesus said to him, "You have seen him, and the one speaking with you is he." He said, "I do believe, Lord." And he worshiped him. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Our Most Reverend Bishop Richard Malone has asked that we spend some time this weekend preaching on our Catholic radio station, the Station of the Cross, on 101.7 on our FM dial. In fact, our diocese this week is celebrating Catholic Radio Awareness Week. What a wonderful opportunity for me to do this in light of today's gospel. The story of the man born blind. You know, whenever we hear Jesus healing blindness in the gospel, there is no doubt that Jesus healed their physical blindness. But Jesus was also healing the spiritual blindness in those that he healed as well. In today's gospel, the man was not only healed of his physical blindness, but eventually he came to know Jesus. And he came to know Jesus not because the man sought Jesus out, but because Jesus sought him out. Jesus was at work in his life long before the blind man even knew who Jesus was. Just as he was at work in the life of the woman of Samaria that we heard in last Sunday's gospel, just as Jesus is at work in our own lives. Jesus just doesn't wait for us to come back. He doesn't wait for us to come home. He seeks us out. And he brings us closer to him. We see how that spiritual blindness in the days of Jesus existed even among the religious leaders. In Jesus' time, They believed that blindness, or any other illness for that matter, was a punishment from God. We hear in today's gospel that Jesus doesn't give an explanation of what caused the man's blindness, but he does make it abundantly clear that it isn't a punishment from God. How often we ask, when perhaps an illness might strike a loved one, or perhaps even ourselves, what did I do to deserve this? What did they do to deserve this? Jesus tells us today, it's not a punishment from God. You did nothing to deserve this. We reach the next line. That mystery will be unfolded for us. For now we need to embrace what comes our way. Do you know, that's just one example. Just one example of the spiritual blindness that all of us have. I've been a deacon now for 17, going on 18 years. It's amazing to me some of the misconceptions that people have about our faith. The misunderstandings that people have about what an annulment is. Misunderstandings about the role of Mary in the church. Misunderstandings about the sacraments. Misunderstandings about the church's teaching on cremation. It is allowed under certain circumstances. Misunderstandings about the priesthood. Misunderstandings about the diaconate. Misunderstandings about education and social justice. Misunderstandings about the Mass and why this is our central act of worship as Catholics. The need for confession. Why believe in this song? I could go on and on and on. You know, Mark Twain once said, it's not what we don't know that gets us into trouble. It's what we know for sure that simply isn't so that gets us into trouble. I often tell people, if you're going to get angry with the church, don't get angry about what they haven't said or done, because there's enough to get angry about for what they have said and done. But you know, the good news is that Jesus is at work as much in our own day as he was in the days of the man that was born blind. And at the time of the woman of Samaria, last Sunday's gospel. And our first reading today, I think, tells us why. When God speaks to Samuel, he tells Samuel that God doesn't just look at what's on the outside. He sees what's on the inside. He sees what is in the heart. Very often we don't see what's on the inside of someone. We only see what's on the outside. When God looks into the heart, he sees a reflection of himself. All of us made in God's image and God's likeness. And the potential that each and every one of us has. One of the ways he draws us closer, I believe, in our own day is through Catholic radio. You know, Blessed John Paul II, by the way, he's going to be St. John Paul II on Divine Mercy Sunday, the Sunday after Easter. He once said that radio offers perhaps the closest equivalent today of what Jesus was able to do with large groups through his preaching. 15 years ago, our Catholic radio station, 101.7, began broadcasting in Buffalo. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And yet so many are still so much unaware of it. And yet a recent survey of those who listen to Catholic radio showed that more than half of the people that responded admitted that they became more active in their parishes because of something they heard on Catholic radio, because they understood better the role of laity in the church. 94% claim to be more spiritually engaged and inspired because of Catholic radio. 69% said that they were able to teach their children the truths of the faith better and more effectively because they listened to Catholic radio. 31% said they came back to the church because of something they heard on Catholic radio. 51% said they were more involved and generous to their local parishes because of what they heard on Catholic radio. 12% who said their marriages were on the brink of failure said that their marriages were saved because of the direction they were given on Catholic radio. And 83% said that they learned a great deal about their Catholic faith. Things that they didn't know. Things they were blind to because of Catholic radio. I myself listen on the way to work each day. You know, I have about an hour drive between where I live in Attica, where I serve as a prison chaplain. For the first half hour of my drive, I listen to a morning show. Very often they have guests and discuss current events in the church. On the way home, you can well imagine there's more than a full day as a prison chaplain. I listen to the Blessed Silence on the way home. But if you're looking to come closer to God during this Lenten time, I would ask you to think about something that perhaps you haven't thought about. That this desire inside of you to come closer to God is not coming from you. It's coming from Jesus, who is calling you to come closer to Him. As we celebrate this Laetare, this Rejoice Sunday, we are reminded that we are only halfway through this season of Lent. That Jesus might be trying to reach you through Catholic radio. It may be just what you're looking for. It may be the vehicle that Jesus is using to bring you closer to Him. As we prepare for the Eucharist, let's ask Jesus to heal our blindness and help us to see, as our first reading today tells us, that God sees individuals in the heart. That we too may not only see others, but perhaps we would see the church. Not just what's on the outside or what appears to be on the outside, but is truly within the heart of our church.